Decimal to percent and percent to decimal conversions are very closely related. When you're changing a decimal to a percent, you are simply multiplying by 100. The word percent means out of 100, so 100 is going to be our key word. So for example, if you have 0.4, you would multiply that by 100, which would give you 40, which is also 40%. Really, all you have to do is move that decimal point 2 places to the right. For example, if I have 0.4, I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to put it exactly on that decimal point, and then I'm just going to move 2 places to the right. You can see I have this little divot here that doesn't then have a number in it. So what I have to do is I have to go in and I have to write in that number. So this would be 40. So this gives me 40%. Now if you need to convert the other way, if you're changing a percent to a decimal, you are dividing by 100. So what you have to do is you take your percent and you divide that by 100. So if we have 25%, divided by 100 is going to give us 0.25. Really all you've done here is you've moved the decimal point 2 places to the left. So I'm going to take that 25% and I'm going to write it without the percent symbol. Then I have to remember that when we have a number and there's no decimal point, there is an understood decimal point there, but it is at right after the number. It is at the end. So my decimal point would be here. And then I'm going to take my pen, put it right on that decimal point, and I'm going to move it 2 places to the left. So now that decimal point is behind the 25. So that would give us our 0.25. Let's look at it another way. Another thing that you can do to help you remember this is think about Dr. Pepper. The D stands for decimal. The P stands for percent. So if we're moving from a decimal to a percent, we're moving from the D to the P in Dr. Pepper. So we're going to move 2 places to the right with our decimal point. So if I look here at question number 1, I'm going to put my pen directly on the decimal point that's there, and I'm going to move 2 places to the right. So this gives me 45%. It's important that you write that percent sign at the end of the number, not before. The percent sign comes after. I'm going to do the same thing here with my 0.8. 2 places to the right, because I'm going from a decimal to a percent, and I have to fill in that divot with a 0. So then this is 80%. Go ahead and pause here, try the others, and then come back and check your work. All right, check your work. Make sure that you moved your decimal only 2 places. For example, on question number 5, sometimes kids make the mistake and they move it too many spots. They think they're going to just move it to the end. Remember, you're only moving it 2 places. Now let's look the other way. So again, Dr. Pepper, this is my decimal. This is my percent. This time I'm moving from percent to decimal. So I'm moving from the P in Dr. Pepper to the D in Dr. Pepper. So I'm going to move 2 places to the left this time. A lot of times in numbers we don't have a decimal point written. If it's just a regular whole number, we leave that off. It's just extra information. So you have to remember that any time that you have a number, say like 100, there is an understood decimal point at the end of the number. And then we're going to move 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So this gives us 1. We can put 0.0 if we want to, but we don't have to. Let's look at number 8. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to rewrite 55, no percent sign. I know there's an understood decimal after that 5. And I'm going to swoop 2 times to the left, so I get 0.55. Pause the video here, try the other 4, and then come back and check your work. All right, check your work. Look and see that you have the same answers that I do, and then fix any that you missed. It's okay to have made mistakes so long as you fix them and understand why you made them.